Hi, I'm Sara Levin, the Artful Inker, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm here to share this pretty Perennials card with you. Let me set it aside and let's get to the creating. For this card, we're going to be using the Pretty Perennials bundle, that's the stamp set, and the Perennials dies. You can find these in the January to June Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, or use the link in the description below to my store if you're here in the U.S. So I've got my Magenta Madness ink pad and the largest bloom, blossom, flower, and we're just going to ink that in Magenta Madness and stamp. And these give a little distressed watercolory look to them. And we're just going to stamp 2 of those. Okay. And then the medium-sized flower. And we're going to stamp 2 of those. Okay. So let's get our ink pad closed up and out of the way. And then we're going to take a piece of adhesive sheet, and let's just find the other side. Pull back these split pieces. They're the part that has the adhesive on them. And I'm just going to slide in a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm just trying to get it right to the edge so we don't waste any of our adhesive goodness here. And let's get those apart and see if we can get the adhesive to go with. Okay, and then take my paper snips, and we're just going to cut this off of the larger piece of sheet. And there we go. So that backing piece comes away. Now I'm going to go do some die cutting with to cut out the flowers and some other pieces from this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our die cut flower pieces, and then we have some additional die cut pieces from the cardstock that we adhered to the adhesive sheet. So let me bring in a piece of scrap paper here and my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to need a blending brush, and we're just going to use my Take Your Pick to the pointy end to lift. I had it and then let it go back down. Lift the backing sheet. There we go. It's not that it's hard, it's that I wasn't sticking it in between. There we go, and pull this up. So obviously, since this was adhesive sheet, all of this that's underneath the backing paper is sticky. So I'm going to carefully take the coat. Okay. And then let's get these last 3 here. Okay, now we'll put all of those down. Let me put the Take Your Pick aside. Bring in my gilded leafing here, and we're just going to sprinkle this across. It won't take all of this, but there'll be some here to stick on each of these pieces. Okay, and this is where I like to use my blending brush to start and just stick it on before I begin burnishing. Okay. Make sure that everybody gets some here. Oops, pull that one back out of the way. It's already got its fair share and then some. Okay, and then we've got the leaf here. And I'm just patting this on with my blending brush so that I know that everything's been, all the sticky part has been covered. Okay, and wipe that off my fingers. And then let me bring in my piece of stamping sponge. And this is where I just like to use it to burnish, and it takes off the excess into the fine detail without tearing the detailed portions. Okay, and we'll just set those aside as each one is done. Okay. And let's see what here's another little starburst shaped piece. And then we've got the little petal piece here. And another little petal-shaped piece here. Okay, and finally, this gorgeous big leaf die cut. Okay, let me pop this back into the jar and then we'll move on to the next step. So next I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm going to take these flower pieces and the large ball on my take your pick and begin to give these some shape. And you do need to work slowly. You can't just give it one hard press and expect that these will begin to shape as you work. I generally work in circles, and as you work around, it does soften the fiber of the flowers, the cardstock. And I'm just wanting these to cup up a little bit so that they have some dimension to them. And then Now that we've gotten them to rise some, you can draw them up a little further by doing some straight lines down in. Okay, so we've got a gentle cup there. We're going to do the same thing here in our other two pieces. I'll do that off camera and be right back. Okay, so all of our pieces are now lightly cupped, and we want to stack them together. I think I've just changed my mind and want to use dimensional instead of my multi-purpose glue. So let's do that. And you're doing an offset. And same thing for this one. And of course that dimensional adds even more dimension than you would normally have gotten. And then we're going to use a mini dimensional on the back of these loopy die cuts, and I'm going to offset that as well. And even though right now you can see that mini dimensional, you won't when we're finished. Just trying to center that on there as much as possible. Okay, and now we'll take this and add that to the center. Isn't that gorgeous? I know, I'm not supposed to compliment my own work, but oh man, I love that. And I'm going to take your pick tool just a moment over here on this one, because I want to hold it in place and then make sure that I didn't just pull all of those little ends down that I spent time curling up. Okay, so I've already used the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder on a piece of basic white. Can you see the texture here? I'm not sure what's happening with my camera. And then I've also cut a piece of basic white using the Ornate Layers die, and we're going to use dimensionals and add these two pieces to each other. And this basic white piece was cut so that it's the size just between the dots all the way around. And I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so we're lining this up with the grid paper and then sliding this in here and making sure that we're staying inside that pierced frame. And then I've got my basic white layer that's 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And we're going to add more dimensionals. Push these on out of the way. And again, use the grid paper to line this up. And as you can see, there's really no border top and bottom, but there is border on the side. And then let's take that multi-purpose glue and add that to the back of our leaf. Now, since we used the adhesive sheet on the front, there's no adhesive sheet on the back. So you just want to dot this on a little bit. And I'm not one to worry about coating every square inch. Okay, so we're just going to, and that little bit of lift is great. It's adding its own texture right there for us. And then this is going to get multi-purpose glue on the back. Give that a moment to adhere. And then I'm going to need a couple of dimensionals on the back of my flower. I think I may even add a third one so that it's not pulling the larger flower off of its glue. So, okay, and then let's embellish this a little bit. We're going to use some of the opal rounds. These are also in the mini catalog, and they're kind of perfect because of their clear and then little bit of gold and pink toning in them. They just work very nicely with this overall composition. And there we are, today's pretty Perennials card. Thanks for stopping in. If you're in the US, you can purchase some of your Stampin' Up! Products in my store. There's a link in the description below. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your card making friends. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell, you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Have a great day. Bye.